supply, hundreds of stores around the area nationally with our products, and the demand is on the upswing. I think the white label business that was really prominent in early 2019 with the flood of entrepreneurs has tailed off a little bit, and you're seeing some of those people, work through products that have already been established and already have some brand recognition.
My name is Dave Craybill. I'm with iHemp Michigan. iHemp Michigan's mission is to educate, inform, and promote the research, development, and cultivation of industrial hemp in Michigan. iHemp Michigan advocates for wellness in people and the planet through hemp, and it begins with the farmer. Please support our advocacy and join iHemp Michigan. Business members receive a listing in our business directory, which is actively searched by thousands of visitors. It's only $100 a year, Mike Brennan, to get in the business directory. Isn't that a deal?
You'd be a fool not to join iHemp for only $100 a year. So I know we don't have any fools watching this show, right?
Oh, no.
Okay, good. All right, so a couple of things. I'm on the other side of the point three. We cover the cannabis industry in the state, same plant, but just different THC level. And the folks that lobby in Lansing, called Michigan Normal, have elected a new board. And as it turns out, one of the co-hosts of my show on Wednesday, 420 Post, by the name of Rick Thompson, is the new executive director.
All right.
Oh, that's good news.
Ooh, yeah. Well, that means we're going to get all that inside dope, not dope, but inside stuff. Wow. So, and then Anquinet, I always mispronounce her last name. It's Sarfor, who used to be a TV anchor. She's the deputy director. And then if you go to MI Marijuana Report, we got the whole list of all the new folks. And then there's some carryovers as well, but it's a good board. But like I say, more importantly, for us anyway, is that Rick Thompson is now the executive director, and Rick and I have a really good working relationship. And so we're going to give Normal a lot more coverage. And again, they're primarily a lobbying group in Lansing, but that's what you need right now, right?
Yeah.
The industry is exploding. We had Andrew Brisboe on the show a couple months back, and at that point, he was saying we're probably going to do close to $2 billion in adult use sales this year. Yeah, it's not bad for third year of legalization. So next year is going to double again. So, but anyway, so that's what we're looking at. And then the other thing that we've been doing on the show is one of the things I've been hearing not only from the hemp folks, but from the cannabis folks is, gosh, it's really hard to find a bank I can work with. So last week we had Bank Michigan on, which is a new bank, and they're cannabis friendly, do a lot of stuff. Yesterday, we had folks on from Dart Bank, which I think was the first bank in the state to, be cannabis friendly. And then next week, we're going to have someone on from Union Bank. So the three banks, and there's a couple of credit unions as well, but the three banks that we're aware of that will work with both the hemp and the cannabis industry, we've been featuring. We take no position. You can work with any of them. None of them are sponsors. We're just trying to do a public service, as it were, for the industry, because I hear this a lot. You can't find a bank, right? And it's a cash industry. So there you go.
Do you find that they all had large monthly fees?
Yeah,
it's like $250 a month, I think, for Dart or something like.
She would not go into particulars of the how much part, but part of that is the reason is that they've got to do a lot of heavy filing or paperwork. The feds are watching this really close. And it's not like a normal bank where you go in, you have your paperwork. If you're a business, you show them your LARA filings and all that jazz. And 10 minutes later, you got a business account. They have to vet you for a couple of weeks.
I've been working on it for 2 months with a large bank just for the hemp Frisbee project, and they asked me, the last question was, how much THC is in that Frisbee?
Only if you use it as a rolling tray, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're smokable Frisbees, are they, Dave? Or
they are not. We do not recommend that at all.
Oh God, no, that would be. It's not where we want to go. But anyway, there are three banks in the state, and so we've been featuring those. And check it out at 420 Post. And we always post that stuff also at mimarijuanareport.com, so you can watch the shows. Again, we take no position on these banks. We're just here's three that are available. But like Dave says, it's not like, just your regular business. If you're if you're touching the plant, it's going to cost you a lot more money than a regular bank account.
If hemp is in the business name, it's going to cost you.
Well, that's what they're up. Some of them are saying is make sure if you want to slide this through faster, don't have cannabis or business or hemp in your name of the company. But somehow I think when they're vetting you, they would discover that, and that'd probably be a bad idea, right? You know.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's it for me.
Mike, do you know who you're going to have on next week?
Yeah, we're gonna have the Union Bank on for sure. And we're looking at promoting. There's a big caregiver rally coming up in Lansing on September 15th. We probably will promote that. A show or two ago, we promoted the West Michigan Cannabis Expo. That's taking place 11th and 12th, I believe, right, Blaine? I'm looking at your sign behind you. So we had
10th
the
and 11th.
yeah, we had the head of the Deltaplex was on talking about that event, and it's really inexpensive for attendance. This we're talking $20 to get in or something. The big difference is, of course, Deltaplex doesn't have to rent the building; they own the building, and that's where a lot of your cost is for a lot of these other events. And so they don't have to worry about that. So they're passing on those savings to the folks that want to attend. Now, the Detroit event, when they did that one back in June, of course, I always get press passes for those. I don't because I cover them. That one I think was like an $80 ticket because, of course, they had to rent the what do they call it? The TCF Center these days. Used to be the old Cobo Hall, and so yeah. I mean, if you're in West Michigan, it's something to check out, and it's primarily a business to business show, but there'll still be some business to consumer stuff. And Rob Robarf, one of our partners on the Hero Project, will be there representing Hero, and he's even got a speaking slot there. So if you want to find out more what we're trying to do to help the vets here through our Hero Project, our 501c3, you can get all that information at that show.
And if you're thinking about getting a booth there and you're an iHemp member, this will definitely cover the cost. So for $250 discount, if you're an iHemp member, they got a special code you put in there for that off your booth price. So that well pays for, that's 2 years of paying for your membership.
So I'm saying, yeah, pity the fools that don't join iHemp, right? I mean, all these savings
has its benefits, that's for sure. So
yeah,
for sure. All right. Well, I got a little bit of news to share today. One of the big things that happened the last few weeks has been the FDA announcement that Charlotte's Web, and I apologize, I don't have the news thing here, but another company put in a NID. They wanted to be able to use CBD and derivative products in dietary supplements. And FDA said, nope, we aren't going to do it because we've already made it legal as a drug for Epidiolex. So that brings us back to, we need everybody to contact your representatives and ask for their support on a couple of bills that are going through. One is on the Cannabis Act and the other is on H 871, I think it is. So that we have a legal pathway. We have to make FDA now do what we need them to do. They're going to do it on their own without legislative, without Congress ordering them to do it. So fine, that's the way we got to go, then that's the way we're going. So you can check on our website. You can look for that, or you can also find that on US Hemp Roundtable. Real easy to do. You look on it, click on it. You put in a little bit of information, goes right to your correct representative and senator. And we need everybody's support on that. We've got to force them now to do this. They have put in so much information to talk about how safe this is, and they just won't do it. So we've got to make them do it that way. So
Yeah,
HR
841.
Thank you, 841. All right. One of the things that came out last week is there's proposed changes to the national list for organic crops, livestock, and handling. The comment period is now open on that. So if you are involved in the organic area, you probably know about this already, but the comment period will close on October 25th of this year. And they give you a little sample of how to make a comment, things like that. But so if that's important to you, then certainly you want to take advantage of that and make some comments on that. Our friends with US Hemp Building Association, they've got some really great things coming up, pretty inexpensive price for a couple of things that they have. It is, where's my date here? September 9th. 9:30 p.m. Pacific time. Joel Holton will discuss the dangers of unhealthy homes. And then at 10:45, Chris Megwood will talk about sustainable building criteria. And then they've also have some things on September 10th. So it's kind of a 2-day event, it's virtual, pretty expensive. If you are a U.S. Hemp Building Association member, it's $10. If not, I believe it's $30. So pretty inexpensive for a lot of great information they will be sharing there. Plus, coming up in September 25th, if I have that date right, is the Illinois Association. They're having their annual meeting at a golf course and also as a disc golf. So if you're into that kind of thing, that'll be fun to go down and spend some time with them and again have some networking. At this point, that's still a go with everything. And then in December, we have the Camp of the Crossroads. That information's out. It's in Plainfield, Indiana.
All of these events you can find on ihempmichigan.com on the events calendar.
All of that stuff
is there. You can see all of it.
Yep. So a lot of great events coming up there. Again, like Dave said, go to the events calendar. You'll be able to find all the stuff that's coming up. Next week, we have the Southern Hemp Expo. We'll be down there for that. We're going to be doing a live broadcast from there, so that'll be fun to do that. If you're attending that event Thursday night from 9 till whenever we run out of beverages, we'll be having a hospitality hour. So we hope you'll stop up and join us for that. So with that, I think we're ready to move on to our esteemed guest that we have today. We have Chris Judge. He is the COO of Michigan Herbal Remedies, U.S. Hemp Wholesale, and Made by Hemp, which is a local company here in Michigan, located in Jenison, if I believe it's correct. He's got 25-year experience with multiple industries. Chris has led in a variety of roles in manufacturing, development, and logistics for multiple industries. Chris is formerly trained as a packaging engineer from Michigan State University, Go Green, as well as Master of Administration from Central Michigan University, Go Chips. Combining lessons from the beverage, plastics, automotive, cosmetic, nutrition, and personal care industries, Chris has a large library of knowledge to apply to CBD manufacturing, incorporating TPM, lean manufacturing strategies, planning systems, quality systems, financial performance, and people development leadership in an effort to create an interconnected system of support to accelerate the growth of the CBD market. So, Chris, if I left anything out, this is your chance to brag about yourself right now. So do that. And Chris,
thank you for the introduction, Blaine. I really appreciate that. And thank you guys for having me on today. I really like this opportunity, really thank you guys for the opportunity to get a chance to speak. Right. So
let's see what he says at the end of the show.
See what he says.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. When he comes back and he's like, wow, that was a mess, but for sure. And yeah, just to reiterate what Blaine says, I got about 25 years in industry, mostly in manufacturing side, engineering side. I've been in the food and beverage, the plastics, the automotive, personal care, beverage, the nutritional products, and now the CBD side. So I've been in CBD for a little over 2.5 years now, and learning quite a bit along the way. My journey that got me to CBD was probably not that much different than anybody else that came into the industry. I'd been in corporate America for well over 20 years. I had learned quite a bit in the different roles that I was able to be in, and I was very blessed to be able to move around quite a bit and learn from a lot of different people, a lot of different industry experts in logistics, in manufacturing, in planning, and production, and in leadership. So we were very fortunate to be able to get to see some of those folks. I would say about 3 years ago, I started to question what I was doing in manufacturing. And really, it was a bit of a crisis of consciousness. I came to the realization that my primary function as a manufacturing professional was to essentially pollute the world faster with products I didn't believe in. And I really had a hard time stomaching that from a professional standpoint. I didn't want my life's energy going into something that I really didn't believe in. So I started searching for products that I could really believe in and get behind. I really had to do something idealistic to keep my energy and my passion flowing. And then I came across CBD, talked about it with a coworker at the time. They were telling about their pet's experience with it, and I started looking into it. And I thought, oh, is this a product that I can get behind? And the more and more I researched, the more and more I was intrigued by the opportunity of the product, right? When you look at the environmental benefits and the social benefits, and kind of that opportunity to go in a much more natural path. And I'd had some, I'd say a health journey that really opened my eyes to a much more natural path and getting there. So I had to make a change. I found this company, Michigan Herbal Remedies. They at the time were looking for manufacturing expertise, and it was a great fit, right? My passion met my experience, and I was able to come in and help drive that system forward. So, um, you know, building on that, I look at my manufacturing philosophy is really just manufacturing is a science. It's just a series of interconnected systems. So when we look at manufacturing and operations, we're linking different systems to prevent that siloed thinking and a siloed approach, right? So when we develop our vision, we develop that with how they're going to work together, not how they work independently. There's a lot of focus on how things work independently, but it's very important that we're working them together. And really, when I look at manufacturing, I look at it almost like a triad. And this is not something new to the industry. I'm sure people will tell you there's a lot of standard manufacturing rhetoric, but it's the execution, the planning, and the performance. And really, when you look at those three things in unison, how do they play? Obviously, execution is the doing. That's hands-on product. That is execution, right? Planning is all about improving your predictability, right? The better that you can be predictable, the more predictable your product is, the more predictable performance is, the more predictable your delivery is. That's what you're striving for, is predictability. And then the performance is really about the results, right? What are the results telling me? And each one of those nodes in that system it's just a continuous feedback loop, right? Is my financial performance, is my quality performance meeting my expectation? If not, do I go back to my boots on the ground, or do I go back to planning, right? Does my planning data align with my actual performance? And when you align those three elements, you can really transform your organization into a high performing organization, and really get the high performing teams out of it, right? So when we talk about how to execute, really it's got to start with people, and people drive the culture, and you're always trying to create that culture, one of just really culture of engagement. You guys probably know better than most that when the CBD or the cannabis industry got started, there was a lot of people very passionate about the product, but didn't necessarily have the background, the pedigree and the training to be able to execute on actual execution of business, right?
Absolutely.
Great entrepreneur. What's that?
Absolutely. I mean, these folks
there are
have
stories
a long
living all
history
over
as
the place.
growers. A lot of them came out of the, shall we say, gray market. They understood that part, but there's a whole lot more to business than that, right? So
Absolutely. And that's one thing that I noticed, coming into our organization. We had great people, very passionate, wanted always to do the right thing, but lacked some experience that they may not have got from, going elbow deep into corporate America, right? And that's where as this industry has matured, it's gained a lot of legitimacy for, I would say, our seasoned professionals, right? People that have been in a logistics role at a automotive company, in a planning role at a traditional production facility, right? In a development role at a traditional CPG type of situation, right? Just because the products contain cannabis doesn't mean that those rules don't apply. And especially when you look at manufacturing is just widgets, right? Development's just widgets. We have that product that can elevate the effectiveness of what the consumer's getting, right? And it's a means to an end for those consumers.
So
So
Chris, you've been involved in a lot of different, from your background, you've been involved in a lot of different companies. And of course, when you were looking at making the change, so what did you see with Michigan Herbal Remedies that enticed you to go with that company versus another company you might have been able to go with?
the opportunity. At the time, Michigan Herbal Remedies was growing tremendously. We were expanding into new markets. They really enticed me with the opportunity to build a new factory, and that's really what I want to do. I think the Farm Bill and the expansion of our supply side, along with the pandemic, has impacted the industry and slowed it down a little bit, but it hasn't stopped it. So that's still on my growth plan, is to develop and grow a new facility within the next 3 to 5 years.
When
Cool.
your distribution, are you adding, what's your distribution look like? Are you dealing with independent outlets, or how hard, and if so, how hard is it to bring them on board versus 2019-20?
We have a lot of different opportunities to do business. We have a wholesale network. Our U.S. Hemp Wholesale division really is kind of the fuel behind MHR brands. And then we have a direct to consumer, right? We also, within the wholesale business, we have a white label business, and also a drop shipping e-commerce business. So we support entrepreneurialism in many different ways, along with our own personal growth.
Okay, excellent. So someone can come to you with and you would fulfill the orders. If I delivered sales to you, you would ship them direct to the end user.
Absolutely.
All
Yeah.
right.
So we do direct with our wholesale business. We support the traditional retail store.
Mhm.
We ship bulk with a variety of products. We produce over 80 SKUs now, and then we carry additional 35 to 40, and it's changing depending on just kind of as products come and go, and but third party products that we do resell. And for our white label, we offer white labeling for the majority of our core products that we produce. So if you want to start your own brand, we can support you in that way. And we have some very advantageous business MOQs to be able to support a lower cost of entry into the market.
Okay.
And then with our e-com support, we do have what's called drop shipping. If you're not familiar with that, you start your own website. We supply the products, we supply the fulfillment. We ship directly to your customer as if it was you.
Mhm.
And we do that with all of our core and our third-party products.
Yeah,
Probably a little early to be talking about product life cycles, but I mean, are you already seeing some of the products that you produced a couple of years ago? They really did well, and then they're slowing down a little bit. Is that already happening?
Absolutely. And we're continuously working on our development. We expanded. MHR Brands was really the umbrella company for a number of different brands, and as we decided to consolidate, we really consolidated to the Made by Hemp brand, and that's our premier brand. And then with that product development cycle, we've expanded in different areas. Our skincare lineup is probably one of the best in the state, if not best in the country. But then other products are oversaturated, so flavors go out of preference, so those get retired, right?
Mhm.
And then strengths have changed.
Mhm.
When I first entered the industry, A 200 to 300 milligram was kind of that starting point, and then it was a race to get to 2 to 3,000,
Yeah.
and that just never really came to fruition within the industry. A lot of that race to the high potency was there, but it just didn't really materialize. And with the changing in raw material prices, the consumer really drove that market back into, I'll say, a more mainstream potency level, right? So yes, the product life cycle has definitely played an impact on our products, and as we end life cycle them and as we introduce new products, we absolutely are looking at our consumer preferences and then the feedback that we receive from our consumers.
And if I may, I want to follow up on the reason you got into this is you didn't want to have packaging that polluted the world. So let me ask about your packaging. Is it biodegradable yet, or is that something you're going for?
So, my background is in packaging. And that means that I both love and hate it. And because mostly I'm also an environmentalist, right? I have a passion for clean water, clean air, and lowering landfill and carbon reduction. So I will tell you, the greenest form of packaging that you can possibly buy is no packaging.
Hmm.
So we made a very concerted effort to reduce and eliminate as much excess packaging as we could. And that really, I mean, that was really driven, one, by our passion to do the right thing, make sure that we're treating the environment well, but also, echoing other brands like Patagonia, right? That's one of the major brands in the country that really tries to eliminate excess packaging and reduce wherever we can. So we eliminated cartoning. We've taken a very functional approach to our packaging to try to make sure that we are as much recyclable content as possible. So when you get a product and you're done with it, it doesn't have to go to landfill. You look at a tincture bottle, the bottle's recyclable, it goes right in the recycle bin. You can disassemble the topper, the glass dropper goes in the recycle bin. The plastic goes in, the rubber, that's not going to make it. But thank you for that. Yeah, yes, it's been a very intentional effort.
Yeah, because in my world, in the cannabis world, if you buy a product at a provisioning center, you got to go through 3 layers of packaging, all pretty much plastic. And then before you actually get to whatever it is you bought, and then what do you do with the plastic? You just, So they're looking at, a lot of them are looking at, although it's still a little pricey for them, is hemp packaging. They'd love to get into that, but we haven't got into economies of scale to bring the price down.
Yep.
And when you're operating on really thin margins, if it costs you an extra 30 or 40 cents a unit, you go, boy, I don't know.
Well,
So
and yeah, we looked at the same thing. We looked at hemp packaging when we were talking about our carton decision. Can we switch to hemp cartons because the overall environmental impact was so much better, right? Hemp's a soil remediator. It's so much better than paper. It's so much better than cotton. And we looked at those opportunities and said, what's better, switching to hemp or switching to nothing? And we took the switch to nothing as a way to try to avoid that carbon footprint, the excess cost. You look at the whole supply chain impact. That's really where we start to consider the total environmental impact. And I said I both love and hate packaging. Now in this role that I've been asked to do, I'm also taking on some marketing and a lot of product development, and I also understand the need for beautiful packaging and how well it does in the market. So there's a very balanced. So your point about hemp packaging is very very prominent because if you have to have that packaging, make sure it is environmentally friendly.
Just out of the 80 SKUs that you said that you guys do right now, is most of that all CBD related, or do you do other products besides CBD products?
So all but 2 of the SKUs that we produce have CBD or a cannabinoid content in it. We got into CBG with our skincare lineup, just because of the regulatory effect on the skin. It's a huge organ. It really has a big impact. And we've started to get into CBN for the benefits of sleep. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Works.
I took my favorite combo last night because I test them, right. I have to be able to understand them. We have a 50/50 CBD blend,
Hmm.
very natural, very pure, and then a new CBN tincture. So I took
Hmm.
a dropper of the blend and a dropper of the CBN, and was all she wrote. I was out for a good 7 hours.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk because that's my biggest problem is I've got multiple businesses and you lay down at night and all you're doing is thinking about all the stuff you got to do the next day, right? You can't get to
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes you want to just disconnect that brain, right?
right. Yeah. So
The CBN has really shown a lot of benefit for people who have chronic sleep issues, and our formulation has a lavender in it, so
hmm.
it's paired with some natural terpenes that will promote good rest.
Wow. Well, I'd
Yeah,
love to review it on my show. And of course, I have to have a sample before I can review it. So,
absolutely. We can get you a sample to review. I would love to get your input on it. It's brand new. It's only been on the market just a few weeks now. We've been testing it out for the last 6 months here, and I know the people that have our team has tried it has really spoke highly of it. So
good.
Mhm.
So, Chris, is there a website that people can go to find what products are available, or?
we do. If you're a business and you're interested in being supplied, our U.S. Hemp Wholesale website is probably the best place to land for a business. But we do have Made by Hemp website for direct to consumer. So if you're looking for a consumer to try some products, the Made by Hemp website is great. We also have a couple other brands that we manufacture. Tasty Hemp Oil, which all those products can be found on Made by Hemp as well. And then Alternate Vape, which there's been a lot of confusion within the vape market for a while. So we offer it as another solution for helping people.
I see
There you can see a
vape kind
great
of
image
going.
of that skincare lineup. That's my
Right.
favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Regarding vape, it's starting to be kind of go away. I mean, it was real hot for a while. I can't say what it's doing in the CBD area, but I can say in my area, vaping was really big, and now it's really a small part of the market.
Yes, yes, and that's exactly it. And I think it was the fall of 2019 when so many people had so many vape scares with the vitamin E acetate in the products. We've taken a very clean approach, very straight. We use an organic oil and a CBD extract, so it's very very clean. There's no additives to it. We got away from the PGVG too.
Delta 8, you got rid of that.
We do not touch Delta 8.
Yeah, that
So
was that
we've
because it's going away everywhere anyway. So I
Yeah,
know.
it was hot for about 6 months,
Yeah.
and and I was talking to one of my biggest suppliers, and they advised me not to even try, not to start the products.
Yeah.
So they said we can't guarantee it, we can't ship it. We if it gets, you know,
Yeah, well, here in Michigan, in
Replace.
October, it's all shifting over. It has to go through the regulated marijuana dispensaries.
yes.
And so won't be able to find it at gas stations and health food stores or anything like that anymore. So
And quite frankly, I mean, the Delta 8. I mean, go for the real thing.
Yeah. You can't beat the flower.
I like
Give
your
me
way
the
you
real
think
thing,
there.
right? Go for the real thing.
But Chris, do
Uh-huh.
you do extracting of biomass there then, or do you buy your oil already extracted?
We purchase extracted oil and we convert it into our finished goods.
Mhm. Are you looking for sources of distillate or oil?
I'm always looking for good sources.
Okay.
Always looking for potential supply partners that we can work with. We've been in business for 8 years. Michigan Herbal Remedies was started in 2013, so we've been around for a while. So we have some very strong relationships established with our supply chain.
Mhm.
And if you've been in any industry long enough, when you have a very strong partner, it takes a lot to break away from them, but
Oh, yeah.
sometimes those partners can't supply you with everything you need. So
Mhm.
And you're a Michigan-based business. You're out of Genesee
Jenison,
or
Michigan.
or
Yep,
Genesee, I
yep.
mean.
Georgetown Township, but Jenison, Michigan. I think either one of them on the post office works. And We do have a small retail store here. So if you want to stop by, we're at 906 or 904 Jennison Drive. Or sorry, 904 Chicago Drive in Jennison.
Yes, I was gonna say, I'm
Yeah.
from West Michigan originally, so I'm pretty familiar with that area.
Yeah. So we're kind of right out by the mire here. Right along the road, so it's really easy to find us. Stop in any given day. You might catch me in the store and saying hi to people.
Excellent.
So you're talking about building a new facility.
Yep.
So I'm assuming you're going to keep that locally here in Michigan, probably right where you're at somewhere. I assume.
Yeah, I don't want to move. I've moved all over the country. I know our owner Jeff Gallagher doesn't want to move. We have 5 acres here that property that we're looking at and considering as part of a build location. So whenever we can stay local and still grow and not disrupt their operation, it's ideal.
Yeah, excellent. Building jobs in Michigan.
That's what we are hiring too.
Right in the mitten.
If anybody out there is looking, we're looking for sales and service and production technicians. We just had a couple summer interns leave last week, and this week they're going off to college, and we were
Cool.
super excited to have them on the team, and super excited to see them off and wish them the best in their school year, actually getting to go to college. So
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope that sticks.
yes, we do.
So let's talk about a little bit about what you've seen. We talked about 19 and 20. So are you seeing at this point more interest and more of an upswing then in supplying products? Or are we at kind of a standstill? Are we retreating?
I would
What do you
say
see?
the industry is very well supplied right now. There are a lot of businesses that started up in 2019 as a result of probably the 2018. And from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of farmers that started in 2019 that have backed off
Mm.
from the industry. But as post-pandemic, our e-commerce has shifted back to more of a wholesale network. And our wholesalers are doing very well. We supply hundreds of stores around the area nationally with our products, and the demand is on the upswing. I think the white label business that was really prominent in early 2019 with the flood of entrepreneurs has tailed off a little bit, and you're seeing some of those people, work through products that have already been established and already have some brand recognition.
I still think it's an educational issue.
Yeah.
A lot, we obviously know the difference. A lot of the general public, it's cannabis is cannabis is cannabis, right? And so they don't really get that CBD is not something you get high off from. That it works with the body's endocannabinoids. I can do it system. Say that fast 3 times. And things like that. Versus my side of the business, which you're going for a different kind of thing,
Yep.
So I just think the public just isn't really aware of the difference yet.
You say that a lot. We just had a really good session with a dispensary in Lansing that we're going to be supplying products through. And I think the biggest thing for everybody in the industry to realize is that we are all advocates, and we are product senseis, if you will. We're the Obi-Wan Kenobis for our families and for our friends, and
Mhm.
every person involved in the industry, whether it be on the hemp side or the THC side, CBD, if it's topical, if it's skincare, we all have a responsibility to present the industry in the best light and make sure that we are guiding consumers through their journey, right? We are helping them discover what they need for themselves as they're looking for products, right? I jokingly tell my family all the time, like, I'm your Sunday through Thursday friend, right? Friday night, do what you got to do, right? Saturday night, enjoy it. But it's a school night, and I'm there for you, right? And there's some people in the industry that quite frankly can't consume the THC, right? We have a lot of regulated industries. We talk a lot about supporting our first responders, our medical professionals, the MDOT employees that are DOT regulated, and they can't have any THC. but they still want that benefit, and that's where you get your isolate THC-free products come from that can still provide the benefit that they're looking for, the relaxation, the rest, the recovery, without the fear of the repercussions from the legal side of things.
Yeah, we're hearing that too. They'd love to do it, but if it's got any THC in it, it's a non-starter because they'll lose your job, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the professional risk is out there, right? And you have people that are interested, but professionally don't want to take that risk.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if that changes when they take marijuana THC off the Schedule 1.
Well, you've already seen Amazon come out and say they're not drug testing anymore. It's one of
the way they turn people over at Amazon, they couldn't. They'd never been able to find any employees, right? Jeez.
And that's
might have something to do with it.
That's just an ever changing thing in the economy right now. I mean, with a market that's open to legalization and such a pinch on unemployment right now. I mean, right now locally, our unemployment is incredibly low, and it's a challenge to find workers, like we were talking about before the session. And people that want to work have jobs, and people that are working are looking to improve their lives, and people don't want to be judged.
Yeah, it's not a good comparison. In the restaurant industry, a lot of those people were used to just doing what they did and making okay wages, and then they can't find people to work anymore because there's so many other better opportunities out there.
Yeah, there's an incredible shortage of people right now that we're all looking for.
Yeah.
Chris, Mandy says hi.
Hi, Mandy.
So chatting that.
So what do you see as the sort of future outlook? I know everybody does a couple year projections, and it's difficult in this economy because you never know what wild card is going to hit you, right? But I mean, what's your projections over the next couple of years? For instance, do you see there's a lot of farmers, for instance, that want to dabble in growing hemp. They don't have any experience at it. That's, of course, that's what the show's all about, right? Dave and Blaine is teach them what they need to know. But I mean, they want to get away from corn or soybeans or whatever. And do you see that really happening, or is there's a lot of reluctance on the part, even people that have done hemp, as these guys will attest, have gotten burned because it just didn't work out very well for them. So what's the future look like?
Personally, I think two of the biggest untapped markets in hemp is cotton and paper.
Mm-hmm.
The replacement of cotton as a fabric, I think, will become one of the fastest growing areas for the hemp industry. And likewise with paper, right? When you look at the ecological benefits of how fast you can grow a crop of hemp and convert that into usable, durable, high quality paper for packaging or for just anything, I think those are going to be your two fastest avenues. The nutritional side, I think, is very close. I don't know if you have enjoyed the hemp hearts in your breakfast cereal.
Well, I know someone that really recommends those highly. We won't name him because that'd be a shameless plug, but his name is Blaine. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Hemp seed oil.
Hemp seed oil, cooking oil, right? I mean, there's endless possibilities, right?
I make my own hemp milk and put it in my oatmeal.
Absolutely. Right. I love adding hemp seeds into my salads. I'm really big on nutrition. I went through a pretty impactful health journey about 5-10 years ago, and just really went into nutrition, and hemp seeds and hemp it's going to affect the market in many ways.
Are you making anything in your SKUs or your product with I'm going to say food? Are you going down any of that route at this point, or not yet?
We do not manufacture any food products. That being said, there's that fine line between dietary supplement, nutrition supplement, and food product, right? Specifically, we don't make any food per se. We do have tasty cocoa, so there's a chocolate product that we make that does contain CBD, and then but from a food standpoint, no, we don't.
Chris, I have a question.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Well, you said you're working with the Lansing dispensary.
Mm-hmm.
So are we allowed to sell directly to dispensaries? I thought everything had to go through metrics and you had to have a license in order to feed that network.
As of right now, we are able to sell directly to them and as a wholesaler.
Okay.
I believe they are straight recreational, though. They are not medical.
It might make a difference. Yeah. So it's just
Good
like
thing
if
I-
they're selling T-shirts or whatever else that it's legal for them to sell.
Yeah.
Or
Another thing I know Dave and I have talked about and we've had
Frisbees.
on the show is textiles. I know there's an effort underway. What, Gary Schuler, is that right?
Mhm.
I met him a couple of years ago at your hemp event in January. What year would it have been? 2019, I guess. And
No,
so
it's
with
2020, believe it or
Michigan,
not.
Actually, 2020, yeah.
yes, that with Michigan being a big manufacturing state, there's been some talk and some efforts underway to make it a hemp textile state as well. But I don't know where exactly that stands. I think Dave and Blaine know more about that than I.
Yeah,
Well, we're trying to make it happen.
we
That's
need
one thing that we,
degumming and decorticating, and there's a lot of investment to be made, but it's coming.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, the project up in the UP with Marquette, working with Northern Michigan University and Marquette Smart Innovation Zone. You're working with an Indian tribe. They're building a whole hemp-centric economy in Marquette. It's going to be really exciting. We're putting everything up there.
a lot of great soil remediation will happen up there too, because they still
Yeah.
have quite a bit of problem from all the mining that happened many, many years ago up there. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Many benefits of the hemp plant.
Yeah, yeah. Just you have to get the word out there, educate people.
Hmm.
Well, and
I-
what's starting to happen is what I knew would happen. We're getting industry now. They're looking at ways that they can incorporate or use hemp or either whatever. But we're at that point where we're almost like the chicken and the egg now, right? Okay, so yes, I'd love to have 20,000 pounds of herd that I can make into plastics. Great. Next year, we've got to, and we're at that point where now it's where they're going to start doing purchase orders and we're going to be able to actually make contracts with growers to be able to do this and get the product we need, because that's the problem we're at right now. Yeah, great, we can do it, we know it'll work, now let's move forward with it. So that's really where we're at with a lot of this. It's exciting to see what's happening behind the scenes. I won't say behind, but where we know what's going on and where it's going to be headed to. We're really excited to see that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it when we can finally use the hemp grain for livestock feed and food and everything else that we're going to be able to do. You or I right now, we can go to the store and we can buy hemp parts, like you say, right? We can go buy them off the shelf, but be able to feed that same thing to the livestock. I guess we need to find the Dr. Doolittle somewhere to speed this process up.
Exactly. Well, you look at you drive by the rural countryside and you see a cornfield and they're chopping silage. A farmer can be planting hemp, sell the stalk as hurd for fiber or paper, and clip the leaves and flour and seeds for biomass for animal feed.
Mhm.
Highly nutritious.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
are you still plugged into Michigan State? I know you have a big agricultural program there. Is part of that looking at hemp right now or what?
I am not connected with Michigan State in that regard. Although that's a good. I should probably look into that. I know they have some programs around that.
Mhm.
Well, they've been doing a lot of great work for the research on the genetics and growing. We'll look really forward to for the results. James, Dr. Deductor from the UP, he'll be speaking at the expo again this year and bringing all those results that they've been working on. So again, a little every year, right? We're adding more to that knowledge base. We're adding more to what's really working out there. So we're looking forward to that for sure when he can. Yeah, because genetics is going to be the key as we move forward on it. That's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. Mhm. And of course, we started the new. I'll just put a plug in here for MDART. Make sure that if you, because we're getting close to the harvest time now, make sure that you give plenty of time to contact MDART and get your request for testing done. They've got 20 days from when you make that application to get out there and do that. So Last couple weeks ago, we had the Raptor on. Now there's another tool that growers have out there to make sure their crop doesn't go over, the 0.3, so it doesn't go hot. Before we had a little leeway there, we could pull the samples. Now they got to come out and do it, and you get one shot at this. Before we had 2 shots, we could do like 3 shots, right? We could send it in and try to do another sample, but now we don't have that ability. So don't, just whatever you do, don't wait till the last minute to call and get that done so your crop goes hot on you. Definitely for sure on that.
Mm.
So again, being the non-farmer in the group, is September or October typically when hemp is harvested?
Yes.
Okay, both months. All right, good to know.
What's the temperature and humidity going to be?
Yeah.
Do we have a lot of rain
Depends on,
coming?
when you plant it, and although it is driven by light, there's no question about it. It also depends on what you're using, because there's actually fiber that's already been harvested this year. And Saturday we'll be doing a field of grain already.
There's
And
some
actually, that one really
cauliflower,
should have been
CBDs,
harvested
yeah.
2 weeks ago. Really should have been, but so it just depends, Mike, on where and what you're growing and want to harvest. But typically, you're looking at the latter part of September, first part of October.
And does the geography, lower part of Michigan is one time and upper part of Michigan is another time? Does that play into it?
Not that much.
No,
Not too much.
It's not that much difference, but
you can see I'm still learning here, so.
I have two plants in my greenhouse, and I'll just close it up because I'm going to be traveling so much in September. I'm going to let them go into October. But that's I went from 3,000 to 20 to 2.
That's generally not how businesses go, but
Yeah, I'm focused on frisbees.
Oh, that's right.
And
Speaking
Mandy
of
has-
which, what is that behind you, David? That looks like one of your hemp frisbees. You do the shameless plug stuff, so.
Yeah, this is. I don't see my new one.
Look at that. And are those available for sale?
They are.
Upside
Set
down,
up,
Dave.
man.
Right side up.
Upside down. You're draining the lakes that way.
Can I show you guys the new frisbees that just got shot today?
Sure.
Let's see. That's wrong. Folder.
Any of them got the hemper on it yet?
Not
Well,
yet.
we
It
got to
will
get
be.
the hemper. And
Actually,
you don't want to go
they just
anywhere,
got-
Chris, so you see this. So
It just got printed, so I have to get them. Well, they just got stamped, so I've got to get them printed. There's some that are, as we change colors, we're gonna have some swirls. You can see that's a combination. That's a solid red, blue, purple. Now this, Mandy, you must be one of your buddies, Chris. Mandy was asking about containers, and we were talking about packaging. This is another product we have coming very soon, is a container where we can put your logo on the lid.
Ooh, that is nice.
It's a 4-ounce container with hemp plastic. So I will certainly be sharing some information on that with you.
Yeah, I would love to see a sample of that.
Yes, sir.
on something like that, Dave, if you're going to put it in there, well, throw it away or whatever you're going to do with it, how long does it take to biodegrade? Like a year or less, more?
Just by putting the hemp filler in the, and we would use recycled plastic. So it'd be 75% recycled plastics and 25% hemp filler. That alone does not make it biodegradable. We have to add an additional ingredient into it. And then it depends on how that's engineered and chemically made up. But then, yeah, it would biodegrade faster.
Okay.
So, that's actually an additive that you add to make that chemical reaction happen. Yeah.
Home compostable, right? That's the big terminology, right?
Yeah.
Throw it in your home trash, your home.
Well, and to Chris's point on the packaging, I think it'd be really cool to have so what do you wrap in bubble wrap, or do you use some kind of styrofoam?
For our shipping protection, we use a little bit of paper wadding, so it's recyclable.
Okay, because I've seen the papers or the styrofoams where it has little like sunflower seeds or just wildflower seeds in it. I thought that would be so cool,
That's a really cool idea.
So you just throw them out in your compost and you have flowers come up, so
Love it.
Not everybody be crazy about a bunch of wildflowers, maybe just randomly growing, but All right. So Blaine, is it time for the recipe?
Oh, I think we can get to that point. Chris, we want to thank you very much. Anything you want to throw in here before we move to the close up of the show today?
Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate you guys having me on here and giving me the opportunity to come on and share some of my thoughts and experience. And if anybody wants to reach out, direct message me. I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook. I'm looking to build my network within the hemp and cannabis industry throughout Michigan. And hopefully we'll see everybody at the West Michigan Cannabis Expo. We'll have a booth there. Come see me.
Well,
sweet.
before we let you go on that, what would those addresses be? How would they find you on a website, LinkedIn? We're giving you a chance to give you that information here.
I don't know the URL. Chris Judge on LinkedIn and Facebook. Reach out and I'll be there.
Okay.
Well, we got some of your magnets we're going to be giving away down at the Southern Hemp Expo, just so you know.
Oh, that's great. Thank you
Yep.
so much. Those are really fun.
There.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so
All
a
right.
couple
Don't go away, Chris. This is the
This
best
is
part.
it. The
The best
drum
part.
roll.
Yeah, what are we cooking today?
We're talking
Yeah.
about.
There we go. That
Well,
was a
actually,
drum
we're
roll
not-
there. So,
So we're not cooking today, just
No,
so you know.
we're
This is
not.
going to be great. No, we're not cooking today.
Is this the chia seed?
No, hemp heart energy bites, no bake.
ooh.
Yep.
Okay, I got to find the right recipe.
the
So I
hat?
just want
What's
to
the
throw a
hat?
couple plugs. The website has been launched for the expo, the Midwest iHemp Expo, going to be January 21st, 22nd at the Lansing Center. Information's out. Early bird pricing is now available. So if you're going to get a booth or if you're going to attend, you want to grab that. Friday night, Chris, I know you guys will be entering a lot of things into this, but we're going to have the second Hempy Awards. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to have a dinner, a little bit of music, a little bit of play, and be able to give away some fun awards to everybody, recognizing all the products that are made by hemp, not just CBD products. We're talking about the oil that I make. I put that in last year. Dave had a great recipe he put in. We had some wood products that were put in. So anything made associated with hemp, you can see all the categories we have there. You want to do that. Pretty small entry fee for it, but a lot of fun we're going to have on the end of that. Now, the Thursday before that, we're going to have Food Chain ID and U.S. Hemp Authority has a certification program that they have out. So we're going to be holding a class on that on Thursday. There'll be a fee involved in that. We're going to get that all wrapped up next week. I'm going to meet with them while I'm down in the Southern Hemp Expo. But we're looking forward to that, for people to be able to have a pathway to be able to get a seal to show people their transparency, that they make a good, safe product that they're putting out, because it's coming. If you're not doing it now, I'm sure, Chris, you guys are with your situation there, but if you're making these products, it's going to come, folks. You're going to have some kind of certification to show that you're putting a safe and healthy product out into the marketplace. So it'll be a really fairly inexpensive cost for this, and it'll give you the steps you need to start walking down that road. Whether you use U.S. Hemp Authority or something else, it'll be pretty much the same.
You need to be on the screen.
I need to be on the screen? Am I not on the screen?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. Thank you, Becky.
Okay. The Hempress is taking care of us there. We didn't have her helping us, we would just be totally lost. Totally lost. But I need to be on there because
We love Chris's pretty face, but
but now, yeah. So anyway, so that's coming up. We look forward to seeing everybody for that. And with that, we are ready to do our. Gotta have the hat, Chris. If you don't have the
I love
hat,
it.
it
I
just
love it.
doesn't have the same.
Now,
effect.
are you going to be selling those hats at the expo in January?
No, I might be. If somebody brings one, I might sign it for them. or
Oh, okay.
something,
All right. It might be an interesting merchandise item,
Yeah,
you know.
that'd be good. So.
Interesting.
This no-bake vegan is so easy to make. These healthy hemp hearts, energy bites are made with simple, wholesome ingredients. So it's real simple. These are no-bake. That's why I said we weren't cooking today. This particular one we have from the Simple Veganistic is where we got this from. I always want to give credit where credit's due, for sure. So really simple. You can see it's just some rolled oats and some hemp hearts and dates if you can find them, or anything else that you might want to put in there. Some maple syrup, some vanilla extract, cinnamon, that's optional, and a pinch of salt. And
Yeah, those dates help hold everything together. That's how I
Yes.
make my energy bites. Yep.
Yep. So you just place all the ingredients in a food processor or blender, Add a tablespoon of water. If the dough seems a little too sticky, don't worry about it. It'll become stiffer once it's refrigerated. And way to go. I'm going to try to, we might try to make some of these and bring them down maybe for the Southern Hemp Expo. It might be kind of a fun one to have there. So,
Do you want me to send you some of my distillate to mix in there?
no, because then we got to get into dosage, Dave. Remember, we had that problem before. So,
No, I've got it dialed in now.
you got that figured out now, do you?
I haven't broken anybody in a while.
All right. So, thanks, Chris, again for being on. We appreciate all of your good, your thoughts and your sharing your information with us.
And
we wanna
who's
thank
on
you.
next week, Blaine?
You know, next week's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to have a fun time. We're going to probably do some recording as well. But next week, we will be down in the Southern Hemp Expo.
Live
Raleigh.
from Raleigh.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we're going to have I don't know how we're going to make that work, but we're going to have a lot of people probably stopping by and saying hi. And we'll be filling everybody in as best we can on things.
We tell people how to contact their legislators, hempsupporter.com.
Okay. My Hempress is telling me to make sure, again, we talked earlier about it. Since FDA is not doing their part, we're going to make them do their part. So again, you can go on our site or you can go on to US Hemp Roundtable, hempsupporter.com, and fill that out and make sure you get that in there. It's a numbers game, folks. We've got to get the numbers to our legislators to let them know that we want this done. There's no way that FDA can stop what's going on. The genie's out of the bottle, whatever you want to call it, Pandora's box. People love the CBD. They're using the CBD. They're getting benefit from it. And whether FDA wants to make it legal or not, it's happening. And so we've got to force them now, their hand to be able to do this. So again, we're looking for a pathway here for regulatory, for oversight. It needs to be, right? We need to make sure that when you're buying your product, you're getting it from a company like Made by Hemp that does the proper stuff. They get their product tested. They get third-party audited to make sure that they're doing what they're saying they're doing and they're doing good practices. So, you know, a lot of the stuff you see at the gas station stores, yeah, you're getting what you get there, right?
It's like gas station sushi, right? You don't know what you're going to get.
Right. That's right,
Oh,
absolutely.
man.
So that's going to be next week's show. So that'll be really fun. We're looking forward to getting away and meeting up with all our friends again, pretty good. And then on September 9th, I believe we have Jeff's going to be on with Made by Hemp. So that'll be a nice talk we're going to have with him. And then on the 16th, Molly Mott from MDART is going to be here. So we got a couple good shows really lined up, but next week's going to be a fun one. That'll be fun for us to bring a lot of knowledge to everybody and show you what's happening in the hemp world outside of our little world here. What's really happening on the bigger picture. So we look forward to seeing everybody next week. We're at our 1 hour time. So thanks everybody. We'll see you all next week.
All right. Peace and love. Thanks again, Chris.